Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we need to go rescue the desiccated husks of Jebediah, I believe Valentina, and Bob. So Jebediah can't be in this. I don't know why they're back here already, but we're going to be bringing Pabus and Bill, and we need to go rescue that craft. So let's go ahead and do that. We should have enough life support now to be able to just hang out in orbit until such a time as that's ready to be done. So that should be absolutely A-okay. I'm wondering if there's a way to manufacture additional life support, because this is going to be interesting, trying to create colonies and the like with the life support issues. We'll see. That should be fun. So for now, of course, we're just going to lift right on off of here, and off we go. So let's get out of here, and all we need to do is we need to strap on the Probodobodine that is in here at this point. From there, we should be able to do whatever we need to do. Why are we listing off in this direction? Can we not? I'd rather list off in this direction if we're going to list anywhere. I'd rather not, but, you know, whatever. Okay, so we're about here. We've got an apoapsis height of 7 kilometers at this point. So that seems fine. We're going to take this up. This is 10 kilometers. I'm going to take this to about 15 for now. So that's 14 and 15. Okay, I'm moving us over into orbital mode. And now I'm just going to lock us over to the prograde marker for now. We're having a bit of a hard time moving over there. We're a little too stable. That's understood. Let's just lock to the prograde marker and head on over. Excellent. So we can see our apoapsis is fairly high at this point. I'm going to remain locked to the prograde marker for now. We've got 10 more seconds until stage separation here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stage separation. Excellent. For now, I want to move this over to horizontal velocity up. And we don't have Smart ASS open, apparently. So we'll just position ourselves at the horizon for now, and we'll then use Smart ASS to lock to horizontal velocity up. Cool. So we can see our apoapsis height is pretty decent at this point. So this is going to take us up to 80 kilometers. I'm going to keep burning here until about 100. Should be fine. So 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Not too much more to go. There we go. I'm going to burn us slightly higher to like 101. There we go. That should do. So now at this apoapsis, of course, we're going to just circularize on up. Something about like this. And then we're going to have to do an inclination change and plot some sort of an intercept of this guy, which is currently going to start coming in fairly soon. So that looks absolutely fine for the moment. We should have plenty of life support, in theory, to do this. Emphasis on in theory. I mean, this should be more than enough, I would hope. So that'll be good for now. We're just locking over to this node, and we'll execute the node here in about 2 minutes. And we've got lots of Delta V to do what we need to do here. So let's warp on over. Everything is looking good here. Okay, 20 seconds. 10 and 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. Excellent. So this will pull us up into orbit, and we'll even have a little bit of Delta V in this stage left over for our inclination change. I like it. That seems absolutely excellent. Just watching our periapsis here, this is good enough, to be honest. So that will be fine. So at this point, we're going to need to do our inclination change. We can see that the lunar lander is still climbing to its apoapsis, although it's not climbing very quickly at this point. So we'll set this as our target, and at the descending node over here, we're going to need to get an inclination change of 5.9 degrees. Okay, that seems relatively fine. Come back here, you. There we go. Okay, so that is a little too much, but something like this should do the trick. Excellent. We'll walk to that node, and let's just physics warp as we get this turn done. There we go. Everything is looking perfect. And let's warp on through. So we're now oriented for our inclination change, and let's just get into plane with this. Another 50 seconds until the burn time. 40, 30, 20, 10, and 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. This is probably close enough, if I had to guess. But let's just very, very gently burn this last little bit. 0.2 meters per second. This should be good. And for some reason, our target was cleared, but let's set this as target again. And yeah, 0.0. So ideally, we'd like to hook up with it at the periapsis right here. I don't know how viable this is. So we would be dialing in right about here, right? And the question is, how many orbits would it have to be for that to be a thing? It'll be a number of them, for sure. So this is in about 3 days here. It should really start building up a lot of speed here. This is now in 7 days. Okay, now it's starting to move. This is in 10 days. Okay, and then we overshoot like that. Gotcha. So we're going to have to meet it out here instead. So we're going to need to push this out something like this, and then we're going to need a little bit of radial, definitely, for this burn. So that would bring us, not that direction, this direction. That would bring us out to something like this. So I want to pin open, not this, I want to pin open this intersect. 41.6 kilometers. We can definitely dial that in a little bit. Okay, so something kind of like this. Now we're going to have a big relative speed differential. So that's absolutely understood. That's going to be very, very significant. This is in 11 days, and the question is, do we have enough life support to last 11 days? That's going to be a big question. We'll find out. For now, let's physics warp as we do this. I think we'll have enough life support for 11 days. Surely we'll have enough life support for 11 days, right? So let's just orient around to the node here. And let's warp on through. Oh, that's horrible. Okay, that is absolutely horrible. I'm going to zoom out a bit. There we go. And I'm just watching our life support here. It looks good for now. We've only got 6 more days here. I think we're good on life support. 4 more days. 3 more days. Okay, we've got about 1 day. Cool. So now we're going to need to reorient again. Which we are not very successfully doing right now because we are currently, we don't have any electric charge. We have an alternator on this engine, so I'm going to burn gently to get us turning in that direction. Our burn will be starting in about 15 seconds. Now, we're not perfectly on the marker. That's understood. I'm going to freeze our physics here. I'm going to burn very gently again to get us heading in that direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. Okay. There we go. So we're going to be roughly rendezvousing with it. Emphasis on roughly. We'll see how this ends up going, but we're going to need a very, very hefty, I would say braking burn, but that's not really what this is, if I'm honest. This is really not a braking burn that we're going to be having here. 12.4 kilometers, I'm fine with that, to be honest. Let's switch into target mode, and as you can see, it's a very, very large amount here. This is towards target, this is the target prograde. We're going to want to absolutely be on the target retrograde side here, which is really going to be an accelerating burn for us, but that is understood. I'm going to warp to about here. Okay, So we see them definitely grouping together. I'm also noting we're drawing a little bit more food than we are water and oxygen at this balance. Interesting. So we're going to head in a little closer here. I'm thinking this is currently about 7 minutes out. How long will it take us to burn 1531 retrograde? Let's find out. 1 minute 35 seconds. Okay, noted. I'm going to use this mostly as a timer here. So yeah, sometime around here would be the time to do this. So we're going to do 1531. And this is going to be used as a timer, but we're actually going to be in target relative velocity minus. Okay, so that looks fantastic. Let's warp forward a little bit here. Using this as a timer, we're not going to execute this maneuver in actuality. This is literally just being used to calculate when to start this burn. So let's warp forward a little bit. 30 seconds, 20, 10, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. Okay, we're going to get rid of this. So at this point, I want to be moving out over this way a little bit. Just put me in kill rot. Thanks. So I want to be watching the separation here. And we can see our target velocity heading on down here. I don't want to get too close here because we're going to overshoot this a little bit, I think. Yeah, we absolutely are. This is going to be half overshot. So we definitely don't want to be too close. But let's slow this right on down. So we've got about 1 kilometer per second left in relative speed here. Absolutely noted. I'm going to move us over this way a little bit. So this is currently about 5 kilometers of separation. I'm just going to put us back at relative velocity minus very shortly here. Yep. Let's put it back at relative velocity minus. And we can see it's right there. As expected, we're overshooting it. Yes. I should have changed this to be 100% instead of 50% on the maneuver timer. That's okay. We're very close, and we just need to shave off this speed, right? And then do a get closer burn. Once our relative speed is very similar, it'll be fine. You can see that this is definitely getting over towards target velocity plus, and I'm just going to burn towards the target at this point. Most of our relative speed is going to go away. That's fine. We're about 100 meters per second apart right now. And you can see our target velocity is starting to increase at this time. So we need to fix our velocity a little bit. Let's actually move back around to the retrograde side, and let's push this node up this way. Because we need to fix our overall... Oh, stop that. Just be on kill rot, please. We need to fix our overall trajectory here. So just be right up over here and pushing down that relative speed. This is a corrective burn at this point. There. That's very close. So now we can just put ourselves about here. Very small corrective burn. And let's see what this is looking like. So this is our current orbit. It's not ideal. That's understood. But we can see here we're going to have a separation of 5.9 kilometers. Okay, perfect. So now let's warp up over to here. There we go. So this is going to be... I wanted to get a little closer here so that we could see our corrective burn, and we're going to want to do something kind of like this. So we can see that this is currently a separation of 5.9. Still 5.9. Now 5.8. Remarkable. So that means that we were quite a bit too early on that burn, I think. So let's warp up over to here. Okay. Let's just push this right on out. Okay. That does it. We're going to burn towards target. We're very close to speed at this juncture. So that looks good. You can see we're still in a very wild orbit at this point. But let's just burn right on towards that target, and let's just bring this separation right on down. So we're going to need to pull this up over this direction a little bit. Something kind of like that. Small corrective burn. Okay, we're down to 1 kilometer separation at this point. We're losing efficiency here. Let's switch over to relative velocity mine. So this is now 0.4 kilometers. That looks okay. And then the question is, are we going to be able to bring these guys back without doing a full orbit? I don't know. We'll find out. For now, what I want to do is a small correction out this way. That looks decent. 0.2 kilometers, and let's warp in a little ways here. So we're getting a lot closer at this juncture. And we can do another corrective burn here. Just very, very gentle burns here. I'm noticing the separation increasing at this point. That's not necessarily ideal. Okay, let's move this to relative velocity minus. And where is the target here? There it is. Okay, so we're heading in nicely. I'm going to very, very gently brake us. We're at about 800 meters right now. And I want to just drop this down a little bit. I think we're no longer in a hyperbolic trajectory. That looks good. 20 meters per second of relative speed. We're just continuing to come in here a bit. We can make a small correction here, but it's not strictly speaking necessary. We're down to 10 meters per second of relative speed. Okay. I cut the engines for now. I'm putting us in kill rot, and let's just bring this out to here. Small corrections. Something like that. Relative velocity minus. I think we're on an impact trajectory right now. Yeah, I think so. So that's fine. We're at 6.5 meters per second of relative speed. Let's go ahead and drop that down. We're down to 2 meters per second of relative speed now. Looks good for the moment. Okay, so we're still on our way in here, and I mean, this is not an ideal intercept time, absolutely. I think we have enough, we almost certainly have enough life support to take this around an entire orbit. So that should be reasonably fine. But I want to bring this in a little closer. Let's warp in as we come in here. We're about 60 meters away. Now we're about 30 meters away. Okay, I'm dropping our speed. We're down to 1 meter per second. Half a meter per second. Overshot. We're going the wrong way. Okay, we're flipping it around, and let's just bring ourselves to a halt at this point. So I'm going to thrust limit this down to like 1.5% thrust. Very, very minute thrust at this point. Okay, going to call that good. I want to head towards the target just a smidge. So let's burn in at about 0.1 meters per second, and then move to relative velocity minus. There we go. I just want to get ever so slightly closer so that we're in range of grabbing stuff. That would be ideal. Okay. So just gently wafting in at this point. I'm going to take us up to 5x speed. Okay. Let's cut this speed. I don't know what it's doing right now. We'll put ourselves in kill rot. I don't know why it suddenly decided it wanted to point this way. But sure. Bill, I'm going to have you EVA. Okay. Let go. Is it just tumbling right now? Hang on. Kill rot, please. Stop tumbling. Okay. So, Bill. Bill, please. There we go. I want to open up this guy. There we go. And now what we want to do is we want to grab this. I'm going to put it in space right here. And we're going to start traveling over towards this. Let's grab this. And all we need to do is attach this here. Will be absolutely fine. Okay, so this rescue is completed. Now we can head home. Let's go, Bill. That's all we needed. So we're going to close this service bay, and we're going to hop back in. This is the capsule entrance here. Excellent. Now the question is, what would it look like if we added a maneuver here that was just pure retrograde, and we brought this down a lot, right? We could actually cut down on this journey a whole lot if we radial retrograded here. This is not necessarily an efficient way to go about things, but we have enough DV to do this, and that would be not a bad thing. The best that we could do would be somewhere around here. Okay. And we'd still have about 200 more meters per second for a re-entry burn. I like it. Let's lock to that node, and let's do exactly that. We're going to leave this in its current orbit until these guys are down, and then we'll deal with recovery of this. So that looks good. And let's warp to this next node. Start burn in negative 29 minutes. Oh, this is because we're thrust limited. There we go. That's a little better. Cool. So we are now ready to start this burn shortly. About another 40 seconds. 30, 20, 10, and 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Farewell, vehicle. You have been rescued. Complete with the Kerbals on it. We'll rehydrate them. They'll be fine. I like how we're just basically burning straight back to Kerbin. That's not usually how orbital dynamics works, but okay. I guess we're a little offset. Straight back to Kerbin would be like this direction, but this is still pretty funny. This is not how orbital dynamics usually functions. I like it. That's pretty great. So this is going to significantly reduce the amount of time that these guys spend in space. We probably would have had enough life support to go all the way up to the apoapsis, drop it down there, and then do a radial retrograde down here, which would have been the best way to handle this, but honestly, this is a just fine route, in my opinion. So I'll bring this on down, 100 meters per second, and a little bit more here. Okay. About 5 meters per second to go, and we'll call that good enough. Kill rot, and that puts us at 54 kilometers. Yeah, we'll want to do a re-entry burn, but that's absolutely fine. Let's warp around to here and put ourselves into surface velocity minus. So we're going to fall on down. We're in a fairly high orbit right now, but we needed to do that in order to get into the situation we wanted to be in. So one thing I want to check before we actually go any further here. I want to check if our life support is being drawn from the capsule. Interesting. So our waste is going into the capsule, but our life support is being drawn from these. But it's going here as well. Huh. That's interesting. Well, it doesn't really matter to us in any meaningful way. So for now, we're going to warp on down to here. I just wanted to check to see if we'd have problems if we jettisoned these. And for the moment, I don't think we will. So we're not going to be too long. So that looks good. We're going to wait until re-entry here. At re-entry, I'm going to burn off the remainder of this fuel, at which point we're going to mostly ditch some of our apoapsis here, and I want to be an orbital view here. And then we're going to ditch this, which is going to expose this heat shield. Also, we should probably have our drogue chutes be separate from our main chute. There. So that looks good for now. We'll be re-entering shortly, at which point we will commence our re-entry burn. Although we could just wait until we're at the periapsis. How much burn time do we have? 7 seconds? So we could wait until we're like 3.5 seconds to periapsis. That wouldn't necessarily be the worst idea, actually. That would let us pull majoritively out of the apoapsis here. I don't know if we're going to actually re-enter this time. That's the question that I have. We might actually just aerobrake here and then have to take a second pass. But I want to kick off at least 263 meters per second once we get down to the apoapsis. So we'll see how that ends up going. Let's warp forward a little bit here. We're 1 minute to the periapsis for now. I think I said apoapsis before. I've been talking about the periapsis. Okay, 30 seconds. 20. Okay, we're about 10 seconds. We want to burn at 3.5. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.5. So we're burning off any remaining fuel. There we go. And now we're going to jettison all of this. Although, maybe not yet. If we're going to have to take another orbit, our life support's down here. So we may want to retain this for this orbital pass. We're going up at this point. Odds are decent that we're going to... I think we jettison this once we know for a fact that we're fully aero captured. I think that's our best bet for now. That'll probably happen on the next pass, but maybe the one after. And if it's the one after, I definitely don't want to have dropped our life support modules before we know for a fact that we're good without them. So I think that's it for now. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to recover this. This is in a decaying orbit at this point. It's just a matter of how long do we want this to decay for, right? So we're out of fuel. That's fine. We could push retrograde with our EVA thrusters. I don't think that's necessary here. So for now, we're just going to retain our life support until we're sure that we're going down. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.